Hello, good evening and a warm welcome to you live on Newsroom here at Bullet. My name is Philip Abutiate. Here are the stories to expect in the next 30 minutes. Police Special Operations Team arrests 7 in Ashanti Region in Anti-Narcotics Operation. Also ahead, private legal practitioner advises Oppong Nkrumah's lawyers against pursuing injunction review over legal vacation trials. On the international front, we will tell you about how US-Canada trade war is reigniting as talks fail at last minute. Please stay with us for details of these stories and more in the next half hour. Remember, it is an interactive show and I would like to hear from you, and so you can contribute your comments on our Facebook platform where we are streaming live, where you can also find us on all the other social media platforms, including X Spaces, Instagram, TikTok, as well as YouTube, where we have an active account. You can also visit the website bullettvonline.com for the latest news articles. And of course, you can follow me personally at Bazi Philip on all the social media platforms. We do appreciate your company this evening. Bullet TV on target every moment. Now to our very first story, the Inspector General of Police's Special Operations Team has arrested 7 people in an intelligence-led anti-narcotics operation in the Ashanti region. The operation, conducted as part of efforts to clamp down on drug-related crimes, led to the retrieval of suspected narcotic substances from the suspects. According to the Ghana Police Service, the suspects are currently in custody, assisting with investigations, and will be put before the court after investigations are concluded. Police say the operation forms part of a sustained nationwide effort to dismantle drug trafficking networks and rid communities of the menace of illegal drugs. The service is also appealing to the public to continue providing credible information to support the fight against narcotics-related crimes, assuring that similar operations will be intensified across the country. Away from crime, private legal practitioner Kwame Oredu has advised counsel for Ofuasi Ayerbi MP Kojo Oppong Nkrumah to allow the court to first determine the substantive matter rather than pursue a review of the dismissed injunction application. His comments follow the dismissal of injunction application challenging the Chief Justice's warrant permitting High Court judges to hear criminal cases during the legal vacation.
Well, in the wisdom of the court, it didn't agree with what the applicant had put forward. The Supreme Court has spoken. Who am I to disagree with them? I am of the firm belief that injunction applications are usually discretionary. I mean, so it's a decision of court. You can't do much about it. It could have gone either way, but that is what the Supreme Court has said. They cited cases like Wofford Kwaku versus the Republic and all that. So they had authorities and legal decisions to buttress the position they had taken. I mean, that is the beauty of law. If they had agreed to, they would have had legal precedents to have backed it as well. So it's the beauty of law. It's the beauty of law. For me, if I were to be the lawyer for the applicant, I would advise that we wait and deal with the substantive matter instead of going on a review on this interim application, because honestly, the tone of the court gives indication as to what you expect. So I'm not sure it will be prudent to go for a review or a second look at this because, like I said, I mean, justifiable decisions were resulted to in arriving at what the Supreme Court concluded. So I may not be in the best position to advise lawyers for the applicants, but I would suggest that they should wait and deal with the substantive matter instead of going for review over this interim application.
Now let's shift our focus to the eastern parts of the country, particularly the Volta region, because children in Bibla, in the Hohoe municipality of that region, can now access basic education within their community following the commissioning of a new KG and primary school facility. For years, children in the community traveled about 2 to 3 kilometers to neighboring communities to attend school. This exposed them to dangers such as vehicular knockdowns and harsh weather conditions, among other risks. Our reporter Christian Aundie has the rest of the story.
For years, children in Bigbulan had to travel long distances to neighboring communities to access basic education. The situation not only placed the burden on parents, but also exposed school children to road accidents, heavy rains, and other safety risks. The commissioning of a new KG and primary school facility in the community is, therefore, being welcomed as a major intervention to bring education closer to the children. Speaking at the commissioning, the Member of Parliament for Hohoe constituency, Jekbu Walanyo Thomas, said every child has the right to education and stressed the need for schools to be located within safe and accessible distances from communities.
We brought this to solve two problems. That's the inclusive education and to also help the children around this area. The only school you will find here is either Bla or you go to Keme, which is very far. So from here, you do more than 2 kilometers, as the education director said, which is not allowed our GES laws.
The Hohoe Municipal Director of Education, Victor Kove, said the new facility comes at a critical time as schools in neighboring communities are already under pressure from high enrollment.
Newly constructed building, as you can see behind me, has come at the right time because currently the enrollment in the town schools, starting from Aswaj, Adabraka to Yipi, are very huge in such a way that we have to ask teachers to help in teaching in the classrooms. When we met at the Municipal Education Oversight Committee and I put this request to them and they got it, we were so happy.
The Hohoe MC, Prosper Kumi, said assessments conducted in the community established the need for a school, leading to the establishment of the facility.
Establishing a school here was because we did some assessment. So we know very well that it's a need for the people. It was very important that we get it here. So enrolling their children wouldn't be so much a difficulty. We know they will. In fact, as we speak today, people are ready to start writing the name of their wards. So we're not going to push that much in getting the students.
Presidential staffer and NDC Volta Regional Political Coordinator Siki Habib described the facility as an investment in hope.
Purpose KG block and 3-unit class room block. A facility that represents far more than blocks, roofing sheets, windows, and classrooms. Today we are commissioning hope, opportunity, and better future for our children.
Let's stay a bit longer in the Volta region because the South Dai District Chief Executive Kwame Courage Kokroko has responded to a viral social media video highlighting infrastructure challenges at the Peki Senior High Technical School. While acknowledging that the classroom faces challenges with furniture and other infrastructure, the DCE says the District Assembly is aware of the situation and has initiated measures to address some of the concerns. We bring you another report by Christian Ahundie.
The viral video showing students at the Peki Senior High Technical School has sparked public concern over infrastructure and furniture challenges at the institution. But the South Dine District Chief Executive Kwame Courage Kukuruku says the District Assembly is already engaging school authorities to identify and address some of the challenges. Speaking to the media, the DC said shortly after assuming office, he invited heads of senior high schools in the district to discuss their concerns and explore areas where the Assembly could provide support.
When one of our Assembly members posted something on the Assembly platform indicating that students squat at the dining hall to eat. So quickly I invited the education director. He came, I asked him whether he's aware of such a challenge. He said no. So we moved straight away to this. We called the headmaster, we went to the school. We met him and showed him the pictures. What he told us was that his students does not squat at dining hall, though they have challenge with dining hall furniture. What they do is that they go in batches. So the picture does not depict the real situation. I said, well, this is what has come to the public domain. So we used the opportunity to discuss other issues where we assured him that the toilet issue is also under consideration. When he first reported the issue, the Assembly we met and captured it in our budget for 2026.
Meanwhile, the Volta Regional Director of Education, Mariam Jemima Ajuru, says Peki Senior High Technical School has not been left out of government infrastructure interventions.
Government alone cannot do it. We need other stakeholders on board. All students are one of our major stakeholders. PTA is one of them, religious authorities, one of them, and then the traditional rulers are also one of our stakeholders that are helping. Honestly, they are the people who normally give the land, unless the school is a mission school.
Well, in many Ghanaian workplaces, addressing a boss by their first name can be seen as disrespectful or overly familiar. For some employees, it simply feels unnatural. But as workplace cultures evolve, so do expectations around how leaders should be addressed. Well, so I'm asking you, how do you address your boss at work? Do you call them by their first name, or do you prefer sir, madam, boss, or chief? Well, in my case, I call my boss senior. Well, let's bring you this story.
Interestingly, while some modern workplaces encourage first-name interactions to promote openness and teamwork, a growing number of bosses are pushing back, insisting that respect and hierarchy should not be sacrificed in the name of informality.
Kim, you had a question.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Maya her views on interracial relationships.
Oh, thank you. And first, I'm Miss Angelo.
Miss Angelo?
Yes, ma'am. I'm not Maya. I'm 62 years old. I have lived so long and tried so hard that a young woman like you or any other you have no license to come up to me and call me by my first name.
At Bula TV and at Nka TV, staff members have different ways of addressing their supervisors. Some say using titles such as Sir, Madam, or boss reflects the values they were raised with and helps maintain professionalism in the newsroom. Others admit they feel heavy-mouthed or uncomfortable calling a superior by their first name, even when given permission to do so. They believe Ghana's culture places a premium on respect for age and authority, making formal titles the natural choice. However, there are also staff who believe first-name communication creates a friendlier working environment, breaks down barriers, and encourages free exchange of ideas between management and employees.
Oh, I mostly use ma'am. Why? Yes, because my boss is a female. So it's either I use ma'am or ma, but I don't use boss. I don't call my female boss boss. But my male bosses, I call them bosses. So this is the corporate environment. So why should I refer to the person with the first name? No, I won't do that.
So it'll go by the mood. I'll read the room. If she's in a good mood, her leadership. Or I'll go take something from mom, like some money or something. Oh, leadership, they will take. But when she's serious, madam.
I call everybody senior. Whether they are my boss or my colleagues, it doesn't matter. For me, it is senior. I don't know if it's a title, but it's no more about titles for me. For me, I think it's just that bridge that says I respect you before I start any conversation or dialogue. So for me, senior.
Managers, on the other hand, are equally divided. While some welcome the relaxed culture and don't mind being addressed by their first names, others insist that titles reinforce discipline, professionalism, and the chain of command.
So as the MD for Bullet TV, I don't mind if people call me by my first name. I think titles don't really show your performance or your good work you're doing, but it's so important that as professionals we know where we are at any point in time. It is very essential to know where you appear and how you can conduct yourself. Professionalism is not just about you executing your duties, but also knowing your surroundings at any point in time. We need to know how we conduct ourselves, reflect on our surroundings and the gatherings, so we'll be able to appear very professional. As a professional, you just have to behave or act professionally at any point in time. But like I said, calling me MD, Miss, whatever, it doesn't really add to anything. And I'm okay when you mention my name.
As workplaces continue to evolve, one question remains: should respect be measured by the title we use or by the professionalism we demonstrate?
Well, also share your thoughts with me in the comment section on our Facebook stream at Bullet TV Ghana, and I would love to read your comments. But it looks like a right time to take a breather. We'll be back with more. Read the first line. Welcome back. Let's do some business now because the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, the Minerals Commission and Adamos Resources Limited have been tasked by the government to present a 12-month roadmap for turning around the mining company. The roadmap will include the formation of a 6-member management team comprising 3 representatives from Adamos and 3 from government to supervise the turnaround of the mine. The agreement follows a meeting at the presidency aimed at resolving the disputes between the 2 parties and salvaging one of the few operating indigenous large-scale mines in the country. As part of the roadmap, Adamos is expected to develop a plan to settle its outstanding liabilities to the Ghana Revenue Authority, the Minerals Income Investment Fund, financial institutions, and other suppliers. The 2 sides will also explore options for injecting fresh capital into the operation, including inviting additional partners to take up equity in the mining company. The Ministry, the Minerals Commission, and Adamos Resources are expected to present the 12-month roadmap to the presidency within 2 weeks. Let's now look at how the cedi is faring on the currency market. It is now time for the sports segment. And to our very first sports story, Frank Lampard heavily praised Arsenal following Coventry City's 3-0 opening day defeat at the Emirates Stadium. He openly admitted that Mikel Arteta's defending champions operate on a different level and put on a true masterclass.
Yeah, disappointed to lose, but credit to the opposition. It's a difficult game for us. They play like champions. They're the best team in the Premier League last season, and we felt that. Especially in the first half, I feel where we started quite bright for the first minutes. We win a corner early, you feel bright. Even our defensive block was okay, but you live and learn that if you make any tiny mistake, if you give them too much space, teams like this are going to be. It's the difference to the league that they will hurt you. The ball will be in the back of your net. So I'm not down on the players. It's an experience. A lot of Premier League debuts in our team tonight, and they'd have felt that today. The massive thing for us is to be positive because not every game will look like that, and it was a big lesson for the lads of what this level looks like at the top end. I think they know it, and you know, I never critique mistakes. I would critique like body language or I'd critique work ethic. That wasn't the case for us today. I think maybe we were, you know, the size of the occasion and the atmosphere it's different here. It's different at this level. We have to come to terms with that very quickly because you have to be able to handle that. But I won't critique the players. You obviously have to minimise mistakes, and we'll be stronger in games going forward than we were strong today. But yeah, it's some interesting stuff to see. Not terrible performances. I could look through the team and go, yeah, there were some good performances, good application. Yeah, we'll take the lessons. The dressing room is fine, and they better be fine because this is a tough game for first game of the season, and there's games coming up.
In more sports news, Michael Carrick says the opening day defeat at Hull City won't alter the general direction Manchester United are travelling in. Carrick suffered just a third reverse in this 21-game spell as head coach.
That we've lost, right? So it's hugely disappointing. Of course it is. You know, we came here to win, like we do any game. So to not take anything away is hugely disappointing. Yeah, it's not more than that. It's not less than that. It's a one game that we're disappointed we haven't won. So got to soak it up and come back stronger. It's told two completely different goals, really. So. It's not time to dissect it as such. I think we've been pretty good over a period of time. Today they've obviously scored 2 in different ways, you know. So I guess why that's highlighted. I understand that, but it happens. Sometimes it happens in football, but we don't accept it. But it happens, and we got to understand why.
In entertainment news, veteran actor Abeku Nyame, alias Jagapi, wants President John Dramani Mahama to set up a welfare fund for veteran actors and actresses, arguing that performers who have spent decades entertaining Ghanaians have nothing to fall back on once roles dry up. Unlike workers in formal employment, he said actors simply don't retire into financial security. When the roles stop coming, many are left to fend for themselves. He believes President Mahama, more than most, understands what veteran performers are going through, pointing to the president's history of personally supporting actors such as Super Odi even before taking office. Jagapi said the industry had made things harder for veterans in another way too. Producers Let's do some international news now.
Trade talks between Canada and the United States failed at the last minute on Friday night, reigniting the North American trade war, with Ottawa vowing to match Washington's tariffs, despite hope statements from both sides earlier in the week that a deal would be struck to avoid 50% U.S. tariffs on $20 billion of Canadian goods, locking in at the midnight deadline. The talks faltered. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney said its neighbors could not reach an agreement to meet our objectives. During a press conference on Saturday, Carney said last-minute changes in the United States terms were unfair, uneconomic, and undermined the net benefit for Canada, and called into question the reliability of any deal. That included an attempt from the U.S. to limit Canada's trade deals with other countries.
Well, so that's it for this edition of the Newsroom Live on Bullet. Remember, we are streaming live on our Facebook page, but you can also get interactive with us on all our other social media platforms. The handle is at Bullet TV Ghana. We're on X Spaces, we're on Instagram, on TikTok. We also have an active YouTube channel, which you can subscribe to, or even a LinkedIn page. And of course, for the very latest article, the place to visit is bullettvonline.com. And if you want to get interactive with me, just search for @BaziPhilip on all the social media platforms, and you would find me. Well, we do appreciate your company this evening. It was a pleasure having you. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.